Good afternoon, Dr. Morse. Good afternoon, Ronald, and good afternoon to any other students of CJBS 377 who's watching this video. I guess I'm recording on Google's on Zoom since for me it has been the best in terms of like recording and in terms of like uh, and my level of tech expertise. Depending on the length of this video, I might just upload it to YouTube and then I will post the link in the submission box. A little bit about myself before we get started. My name is Michael Nguyen and I'm a upper junior at, well, John Jay. I'm majoring in criminal justice and this is my first internship experience and my first I get professional experience working in a office-like environment. So to give you a layout of what the rest of this video will look like, I will it'll first start off a bit structured with like talking about the field organization that I interned with and its history and all that fun stuff like key units and jargon. I've kind of based the first portion of the video off of like the guiding questions that you have generously provided, Professor Moore. So thank you for that. And the second half of the video will be talking about more in details about and expanding on some of the answers that I provided in the first half and talking about my positive and negative experiences at the internship organization. As of, I guess this is a little disclaimer. As of right now, I have completed my 96 hours. I believe I'm somewhere around 116 hours, and I could have just stopped showing up to Ace, but I fully believe in its mission and its cause, so I've offered to continue showing up at my normal hours, at least to round out the rest of this year. So the organization that I interned with this semester is called ACE. It's short for Association for Employment Programs for the Homeless, and it is based in Long Island City off of Queens Plaza on the E dub no, the ER and the M line, and it's right off of 39th Ave on the N and W line. A little bit about its history. It started in 1992, and the founder believed in the philosophy of if if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but you teach him for how to fish, you'll feed him for life. And the same methodology can still be seen today. Uh, he encountered a person asking for change, and he gave that person $20 to sweep the front of his building. Soon after, more people, well, he rallied the businesses in his neighborhood, which was Soho, and the businesses in the area started doing the same thing, paying, giving money to folks who need it in exchange for like sweeping the sidewalks or doing this or that. Pretty soon, the program expanded to, besides Soho, it expanded to Tribeca, Bowery, and NoHo. and all of the partnerships kind of merge under one umbrella corporation, and that's how ACE came to be. I'm s- I'm sorry for the pauses. I'm kind of switching between tabs here. Goals of the agency. So I would say the goals of the agency is to provide the clients slash program participants with finding full-time employment and ensure they get hired. A secondary goal, which also kind of helps the main goal, is to help them overcome any barriers that might be preventing them from gaining employment, such as helping them get New York City IDs or recover their social security card or regain their birth certificates. Things that might be simple to us or others, but it is important to recognize that people, everyone comes from all walks of life and have different backgrounds. Some of the folks that we serve here at the organization, they may have been recently incarcerated or they are in a treatment program. Just having empathy and emotional intelligence are key things I would say is important to have at a nonprofit like ACE. Key policies or procedures are usually communicated through case conferences, which are usually on a Friday. And here's the short gist of it. Case conferences are a meeting where all the case managers and crew supervisors get together and discuss each and every program participant that is a part of the program. We go over how they're doing with job searching or how they are doing when they're out in the field getting work experience and getting paid for it. We're looking for behaviors or things that might be barriers to them at the workplace, and we try to help them address it before they re-enter the workforce. So key policies are addressed there and also through chain emails. Here are some jargon that are kind of specific to ACE. I'll start off with CN. CN is short for case note, and at ACE, we use CS Force to put in almost every information about program participants. We take their employment history, we take their general information such as name, email, phone number, address. We have dedicated sections for any notes that people who do mock interviews have. We have notes from like the financial assistant coaches. We have notes from the lawyer from Legal Aid Society who volunteers here and helps clients with their legal issues and getting their records expunged. So CN is basically a case note. Well, I already said that. Case managers meet with their clients at least once a week since two of the program participants are here 4 days a week and two of the days are for crew days where they're out in the field getting work experience, paid work experience, and getting monitored by the crew supervisors. And the other 2 days, they're here at the ACE office, learn taking education classes on hard and soft job skills and also job searching on in the computer room. Case notes are basically notes that case managers have on their clients at, during their weekly sessions. The case notes can have anything from like things they observed or things the case manager and the participant talked about. Or it could also have notes or concerns from the crew supervisors on the participants when they were out in the field. ROI, release of information. So during intake, which is ACE's screening process where we screen and determine whether or not the potential person would be a good fit here. Uh, if they are a part of a treatment program where they have a counselor, we have to give them this ROI form, basically telling them and their counselor, hey, it would be cool if we could share information about you to your case to your counselor at your treatment home, or they could send stuff over to us. It helps in case anything happens and the counselor needs to reach out to us or we need to reach out to them. NCNS, no call, no show. So we take attendance for everything for like classes, individual classes, and for crew days. Uh, of course, we understand if something happens and you're sick, or hey, someone in my family passed away, and you communicate that to like your case manager at ACE, it'll be excused. But if you did not call us or you did not show up, or it's a combination of both, then it will be classified as NCNS, which is the equivalent to like a unexcused absence. Attendance is also a thing we monitor here at ACE since, when you're out in the workforce, if you miss a certain amount of days, your boss or manager might be pissed off and they might demand an explanation. NCNS is basically a way for us to help the program participants and clients improve on their communication skills and their attendance. How the staff use their time. It depends on your style of work and what you do at ACE specifically. So ACE has two programs, Project Comeback and Project Stay. I would say I worked more with Project Comeback, so I could speak more on Project Comeback. But Project Stay is ACE's long-term program for folks who have already secured a full-time job and have graduated from the program. Project Stay it helps them stay employed, and it gives and Project Stay organizes events to keep graduates engaged with the program. So let's say one of the program participants obtained a full-time job and they're moving out of their treatment home. Project Stay, we can they help the participants with like funding for like new furniture. And they also organize events where current program participants and former program participants can socialize and mingle. Last last month I got to go to the Blood Manor, which is a haunted house down in Lower Manhattan. That was really fun. And actually, this week, the Circus Vasquez that originates in like New Jersey, they'll be in City Field, and Project Stay managed to get tickets for those. So I'll be going to that, and no, I'm looking forward to the circus. I've never been to one, and I just want to bring it up because a lot of time, well, sometimes I was under the impression that when you're in the workforce, you kind of just you can always just, go about your business, work your shift, go home, but studies have shown that 70% of people are happier at their jobs when they have friends at work, and I just think it's important to show up to like work events if I have the time for it, since it kind of builds the connection with the rest of the team, and I get to do something fun or I try something I've never tried before. Project Comeback, on the other hand, which I was mainly involved with, it is the workforce development and vocational rehabilitation program. So I guess to kind of explain, my supervisor told me at the interview that I don't have like a set schedule here because it does get hectic, and there have been times where I've been asked to cover this or I do that, and I'm totally fine with it. So to give you an idea of what some things that I might have done or I have done during my time here is I help program participants with their resumes, whether it's editing it or rewriting it or formatting it so it fits in one page. That could be one thing. Another thing is I could be teaching classes. So I did mention education classes a couple of times now so far, and we teach both hard and soft job skill classes. So what that might look like is for hard skill classes, we might be teaching them how to like write a write an email or opening up Indeed or uploading their resume or attaching a image or document to their email. It could be things like that. And for soft skills, it could be how to navigate workplace challenges or how to communicate with your coworkers if you're unhappy about something, or things you should or shouldn't do at an interview. So things like that, it's never I was about to say it's never the same, but it kind of is. It's just shuffled around each day. Project Comeback also helps participants obtain industry specific certifications. We're not like forcing them to go do security or go do construction. Whenever the program participant meets with their case manager, the case manager will ask them, "Hey, what kind of job are you looking for, or what might interest you?" And the our clients would be like, "Oh, I want to do so and so," or "I wanted to get a construction safety certification," or "I want to get a security guard license." We help them pay for half of it to get their certification, and the other half they'll pay. Another big philosophy of this organization, I would say, is investing in yourself. And what I just, the example I just provided about paying for half for certification, it's kind of investing in yourself because it's basically our clients being like, hey, I want to do this and I'm willing to spend my money that I gained from the paid work experience days to go towards this. I want to invest in my future. Key decision makers, the key decision makers in our organization would be our program directors. It's a joint role that's filled by two people, Jim Morton, who I would say is the CEO of ACE, and Elizabeth McNearney, who's the program director at ACE. They're like top the top dogs here, and Elizabeth is the one who facilitates the case conferences. Central units to ACE. These are people I would say if they're not here, then it's not going to be a good day at the office. I'll say that. My supervisor, Bridget Sarabia, she's I I don't know. I don't know what's a good way to describe her, but she's kind of like the heart and soul of this place. Uh, she she has a good relationship with everyone. She's the most knowledgeable on all the programs and policies of the workplace. And she's a she's someone anyone here could anyone at ACE goes to if they need a listening ear. Because I've seen so many other of my coworkers just talk to her about their challenges or things that are affecting them, and she gives great advice and she's empathetic. Second, the second person who I would say is a key unit is Nadine, the education director here at ACE. She is the one who comes up with the lesson plans. She's the one who teaches the lesson plans at 11 and 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. So she's very familiar with the material. And if she's out of the office for whatever reason, either Bridget or Rosemary or Emma or even me, I've taught classes before. We had to step we had to step in, and that means that our our jobs and responsibilities might get put on hold for a bit. Mhm. The last section of this first part is demographics. In terms of demographics, I would say 90 to 95% of our clients are male, and the majority of them fall within the 35 to 60 age bracket. The reasons they come to the agency, Well, like I mentioned, ACE is a job vocational, job readiness and vocational training program. So most of our clients, they come here because they are looking for a job or they are looking to get a second chance at life or they are looking to get a fresh start because having a criminal record is a major barrier to gaining employment for some folks because when employers they they look at the criminal history, they're like, oh, I don't want to hire a criminal. But at the same time, the employer doesn't give a chance for the clients to explain their actions or they don't see what steps the clients have taken since the date of the incident. Sorry about that. I paused my video for a bit. So the next question, clients whom your agency find difficult to deal with. I would say clients that the case managers at ACE find difficult to deal with or people who think they're always right and not open to any feedback or change. The whole purpose of the 2 crew days of here at Project Comeback is to monitor their behavior. And the rationale behind that is, hey, this is opportunity for our clients to get paid while doing sanitation work, but also gives the case managers and crew supervisors opportunity to see how they would work in a workplace or how they would interact with others. If they're constantly late or they're not wearing uniform, which is in a workplace would be like dress code, they could get reprimanded for that. Or if they like to argue back with the crew supervisors or case managers in an unprofessional way, we could help them adjust that behavior before they, while they're in the process of finding a job during their time here at ACE. How are clients referred to the agency? So during intake, one of the questions the case managers ask our clients is, hey, how did you hear about us? Because ACE does have a social media account, and even though it kind of sucks, we- we're always trying to get our name out there, get people to know more about us, whether it's clients or potential donors or partners. And most of the time, I would say our clients, they either get referred to by their counselor at their treatment home or shelter, or if they are staying at a shelter or transitional housing or treatment center, they would hear it from other participants who are also part of ACE. Now we're on to the second part of the video where I just talk about my experience. Although you could say that I already started talking about my experience in the first half of the video, but from this point on, it's just my experience. Some positives of, let's start off with positives at my time here at ACE. I know it's a little bit cliche for nonprofits or small organizations to be like, oh, look, guys, we're all a big, small family here. But I would absolutely say that is the case here at ACE. From the moment I stepped foot into the, I want to say office building, but our office space is in the basement. So it does sound a bit creepy. So from the moment that I stepped my foot, step, took the steps down into the basement until now, everyone, all the staff members I have interacted with have greeted me with open arms and consistently show that they care about my well-being and professional development. Um, I actually have a bit of a problem that I mentioned this in my program evaluation as well, where it's, I think it's because it's my first time in a professional working environment that I kind of want to go above and beyond for the organization. So sometimes I would have Rosemary tell me that to go home when I'm actually supposed to go home since I like to stay a bit behind because Ace Ace is a bit understaffed and especially Tuesdays where we do intake. It's only Emma and Bridget doing intake. And I told I told Bridget and Emma that the work that y'all do here at Ace, it's something worth fighting for. So I don't mind staying a bit behind to help you two out. Of course, I make sure that all my assignments and projects are up to are submitted already or already completed. I'm not just like taking time out of my day to help them out when I have like 10 assignments to do. So you could say it's overworking but you could also argue that I am really dedicated to the mission of ACE and I make sure to prioritize my own health and well-being before deciding to help out ACE with any additional tasks. Mm, Also, all of the program participants I have interacted with have been nothing but respectful and appreciative of me. I This is something that I told my supervisor as well. I told her that um well it could also be because I'm pretty good at building relationships with people one on one, but I'm usually interacting with the program participants the most because we have a dedicated time each day called surfing the web. It's 1 hour where our program participants are in the computer room, logging into Gmail, logging into Indeed, applying to jobs. And like I mentioned earlier, some of these folks are a bit tech illiterate, so they ask me for help. I I never interact or present myself in a way where it seems like I am more than or above someone else. I understand what our participants go through. I myself, I've lived in shelters before. I've I haven't where I don't have or didn't have a support system. And I would never want anyone to feel disrespected or belittled during their time here at ACE. So I guess figuratively and literally, I put myself down to their level. If they're like sitting in the chair, I crouch down. I don't kind of loom over them like I'm some professor or some boss. I crouch down. Even if I don't have a chair, I'll crouch down and help them while being at their level. I also ask them about their day. I also relate to them, and it's an interesting dynamic because I told Bridget that it feels like a good cop, bad cop dynamic where the case managers, people who are the program participants interact with, they're a bit more hard on the participants because the case managers want the clients to get a job. So the surfing the web class and the computer room in my head, it's like a time for them to unwind a bit and get away from their case manager. So I'm a bit more lenient with them in terms of like rule enforcement. Obviously, I want to make sure that they're still on Indeed and not like looking up tattoo artists or something like that. But I don't mind if they listen to music or scroll through Facebook for like 1 or 2 minutes. So I relate to them in a way where it makes me the good cop, and they might be talking amongst each other or talking to on their phone, and they might mention something that they did not mention to their case manager. I would hear it, but I'm not gonna like call them out on it or ask them at the moment. I'll wait until computer class is over and then mention it to their case manager. So it's a bit of emotional intelligence here at play, but it's also a bit of just, I guess, psychology. Another positive experience at I've been able to work on hard and soft skills myself. Hard skills, um, I would be honest with you, before this semester, I have never opened up Google Excel or Google Excel or Google and Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. Uh, my time here at Ace has helped me improve my Excel skills. It's also improved my resume writing skills because I've one of the tasks that I mentioned is that we help clients rewrite, edit, reformat their essays. In terms of soft skills, this just happened last week. I would say that I got to work on conflict resolution or communicating with co-workers. I got to improve on my leadership skills, and I got to improve my emotional intelligence because everyone at the office kind of, well, this is just for life in general. Everyone has a different personality, and you kind of have to gauge how they act or react to certain things before you could kind of formulate a idea in your head of how you're going to interact with them. One of my coworkers, for example, she's a bit reserved or introverted. She just likes her personal space and time, and I I respect that. One thing about me is that if I have a question or a concern, I usually don't email it to the appropriate person. I would go to go to their office and bring it up with them and also find that gives me a reason to socialize with them a bit. I got to navigate my first workplace challenge last week, like I mentioned, and I'm I'm kind of proud of myself for ending my time here at Ace with something as a milestone like that, in my opinion. So there was a, I don't want to get too specific, but there was a, not a miscommunication, but a misunderstanding of intention when I emailed something out to the program, which is everyone. And one of my coworkers, she misread my intention, or mis yeah, misread my thought process behind something, and kind of reminded me about to, I can't really go about this without mentioning specifics, can I? So I guess I will. So I was taking attendance for one of the computer classes, and I was drafting the attendance email out to the program. I used someone's contact name on Salesforce instead of their preferred name, and this and the coworker emailed me reminding me to use this person's preferred name instead of their contact name. And I really didn't know how to go about the situation, because my thought process behind that was, if I look up, let's say, if I look up so and so on Salesforce on their contact name, it'll pop up, it'll show the correct contact. But if I use their preferred name, I'll have a much harder time locating this person. So for clarity and consistency for anyone else who's inputting attendance, I used this person's contact name in the email. Fast forward to one day later, I before that I drafted a email explaining my rationale and intention behind it. Fast forward to a day later, and me and that coworker, we're talking privately to address the matter, and I found out that that person who I put their contact name is a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And the coworker thought I was using their contact name verbally out in the attendance, as well as when I'm drafting my emails. And she was concerned because she doesn't want the client to feel outed, and and it'll end up making their time here at Ace a bit miserable. So it was just a misunderstanding of my coworker thinking that I used the contact name out verbally as well. And the coworker was concerned because the client is a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and I told my coworker that I would never want anyone's time here at ACE to be diminished in any way or them to feel disrespected or uncomfortable in a place where they're supposed to be at. And of course, I use their preferred name out during verbal attendance. Um, I'm really thinking of other negatives to say, but uh, I really can't think of anything, any other negative. I before the I guess before I end the video, I just want to thank you, Professor Morris, for and Ronald for your time and dedication to this course. All the modules that you have posted have been so insightful and helpful to me and to all of us here in the CJBS 377 course, I'm sure, because right from the first meeting with us, I was like, oh, what's a Roth account or what are different retirement plans? And you have really opened my eyes up to the future. It's really funny because when you're like a teen or a kid, you're like, oh, 18 is really the year where I feel like an adult. But once you turn 18, you're like, oh, when I turn 21, I could drink and go to clubs or whatever. And that's well, when you turn 21 or when you're in your mid 20s, like I am, I feel like I really still don't know too much about life. I just move on day by day and try and be the best person I can to everyone I meet and be respectful to everyone if they're respectful to me. Um, I'm really, I'm really sad that my internship here is ending soon. I actually told my supervisor to fall of 2025. I have a couple of elective spots, and I am definitely going to do this course again. There's so much more I want to learn, and there's so much I can still do, and I want to do. So thank you for watching the video. Sorry for my ramblings at times, and good luck on finals, everyone, or any final projects. You all got this, and enjoy your Christmas if you celebrate it, and your New Year's. If you don't celebrate either of those, I hope you get to spend some good time with good friends and family. Goodbye.